Is that worth an almost tenfold gain? The short answer is no. You don't rally that much in a simple line extension. But what if the same technology could be used for all of e-commerce? Now, that's a much more exciting story, and it's one being told right now. I can't fault anyone for suspending the rigor and believing there may be something very big here. Who cares if it might be pure magical thinking? Certainly not the investors. Just look at how the stock roared last week when lots of speculators swooped in, betting that Apple would be at the S&P 500 after the close Friday. Now, by the way, that's another thing that tends to happen to stocks worth north of $100 billion. It didn't happen, and now they're getting clobbered. Next up is enterprise software company Palantir, which exploded on the scene this year with some big contracts and some big growth. Palantir came public via a direct listing in 2020. It kind of hung out doing nothing until its sales finally took off. And then, man, this thing was just a rocket ship. Palantir is the brains behind much of the military that we don't know about. They've been railing against the big five military defense contractors. They don't like that gang. They think it frustrates everybody else. The firm uses advanced data analysis and artificial intelligence to help the Pentagon see patterns, process data, lightning speed.
Jim Cramer emphasizes Nvidia's remarkable 180% year-to-date stock growth, driven by its leadership in AI and gaming innovation. Nvidia's trillion-dollar market cap and adaptability have made it a key player influencing broader tech valuations, despite ongoing inflationary pressures. He also highlights other significant market movers like AppLovin, Palantir, and Spotify. AppLovin's focus on mobile gaming and advertising led to a tenfold valuation increase, while Palantir's AI-driven military innovations position it as a disruptor in defense. Spotify's subscription model success mirrors the growth of giants like Netflix and Amazon. Cramer credits Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang's visionary leadership for the company's sustained success. By fostering a culture of rapid innovation and avoiding bureaucratic inefficiencies, Nvidia continues to dominate AI and gaming, setting itself apart from larger, slower-moving corporations.
Here's a stock that's up 180% year-to-date. I know it doesn't act well right now, please, okay? It was at $48 at this time last year, to $138 change today. When you have that trillion-dollar cover, you can't sneer at companies that put on a lot of points in 2024. Nvidia allows people to justify paying almost double what they paid last year, or in some instances, a lot more than double. Plus, stocks, like everything else, faced a bout of inflation, I think we'll call it. It's still a problem. Well, I don't know. It's there, though. So let's go through the biggest gainers that have joined the $100 billion club with all numbers as of Friday's close. The biggest move, and I know you're going to think this is inflationary, is the staggering 907% windfall that comes from AppLovin, which makes software that helps app developers grow their reach and monetize their apps. It's gone from $13 billion at the end of last year to $121 billion, although it was a lot higher on Friday, $142 billion. Today, the stock got clobbered, down 15%, because it wasn't added to the S&P 500, something that many traders were expecting, anticipating, gambling on. AppLovin is adapting its stripes and leaning in and pivoting and using its learnings there, worked in all the key buzzwords to become an early-stage e-commerce play that could be wildly successful. They're so good with their mobile gaming technology that they've decided to go all in with video game advertising. These are free mobile games that make their money by showing you ads.
Next guest spoke with him exclusively for his new book titled The Nvidia Way, Jensen Huang and the Making of a Tech Giant. The book hits shelves tomorrow. Barron's senior tech writer Tay Kim joins us here at Post 9, also a former Bloomberg and CNBC writer. Congratulations, Tay. Great to have you.
Thanks, Carl. So good to be here.
You talked to him for the book, right?
Yes.
When was that?
It was in June of this year. I had an hour with him right after his Caltech commencement speech.
How much of the book looks at the origins, which are fascinating just on their own, and then the culture, and then how the cultures allowed them to do what they do?
I'd say it's about half and half. It's a business history of the full 30 years of the company, and then a lot of it is focused on their distinctive, unique culture, which I think is the reason why they've been so successful. I mean, it's like extraordinary outcome. Like you said, the stock performance is incredible. It's actually the best performing U.S. stock in history, with any stock with 20-year returns.
You make the point that a lot of it is due to Jensen's blend of being a technical genius and then a business genius.
Yes. So he has that unique combination that I think most CEOs don't have. Every time there's an instance of where they're almost about to go out of business, he's resilient and resourceful. He comes out with solutions and funding that just come out of nowhere. And he's always been super charismatic ever since the beginning. There was a time in the late 1990s when Intel was trying to snuff them out, telling PC makers, don't buy Nvidia chips, we're coming out with something better. Their sales pipeline completely dried up. And Jensen went to his workforce. He's famous for saying every 30 days, we're about to go out of business. And this time it was true. They're running out of money. And he told his employees, Intel is out to get us. Don't make no mistake. We have to fight back and kill Intel. And that sounds a little, superficial, whatever. But the employees were inspired. They were working past midnight. One employee told me that she woke up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and said, "Oh, I just worked at midnight. I really want to go back to sleep, but no, I have to wake up. We must kill Intel. Kill Intel." So she's just like muttering in her head. She was inspired to work harder to fight.
Tay, if Intel's, let's call it a handful of decisions by former CEOs, doomed the company to some extent, what are the decisions that, on the other side, that Jensen made that obviously brought such great success? Are there a couple that you could cite?
I think one key thing is they talk about speed of light, working with extreme speed and velocity. And if you look back at their video game history in the 1990s, they accelerated the product cycle from 18 months to 6 months. I mean, that sounds incredible, right? Typically, a chip took 18 months to design and ship. And they said, no, we're going to do that every 6 months. And that drove all their competitors out of business. And they're doing the same exact playbook with AI. It used to take 2 years to make an AI GPU. And then October of last year, they're like, no, we're going to do that every single year. And that kind of relentless execution, improvement has shown why they've been successful for the last 30 years.
What I like is that you trace it all the way back to when they were a startup. Often, though, this is a very different company than it was back then. When the company gets very big, it changes,
yes.
Right? Structure, culture, innovation, that sort of desire to go out and kill and compete. What's your sense of what's happening now that it's become a multi-trillion-dollar company leading AI?
So that's exactly the main point. The key thing that happens, I think, for most corporations in the U.S. is as they get larger, this dysfunction just breeds inside the company. You get endless meetings, indecisive paralysis. Some of the sources told me it's like swimming in quicksand trying to get decisions done. And at Google, Microsoft, Apple, just the bureaucracy goes insane. Nvidia, Jensen's culture has been able to tamper that down. I mean, if you do anything where you're trying to make your boss's boss better, which I think is a big portion of all the internal politics and bureaucracy, he'll dress you down right in public. And he told me, if someone is ever doing that, like, I'll embarrass them in front of everyone. And if I do that once or twice, no one's ever going to do that again.
Again, though, I think Palantir's loved because it's trying to upend the Defense Department, potentially saving tens of billions of dollars and saving the lives of those who might be on the front line, such as precious pilots in very expensive jets. Buyers think that Palantir will reinvent our entire defense budget, which is entirely possible because these guys are tight with President-elect Trump. Third, no one talks about the meteoric rise of Spotify, the audio subscription company with popular figures like Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, Bad Bunny, Chappell Roan, and Billie Eilish, as well as a host of famous podcasters, including the influential Joe Rogan. Spotify rallied 165% year to date, joining the $100 billion club as of Friday's close. Why did it suddenly take off? Simple. The market loves subscription models because they're sticky. Netflix, Amazon, Costco, all subscription businesses. They're raving successes, and now Spotify is too. Next was Apollo Global, the private equity firm that had rallied 93% for the year, joined the $100 billion club as of Friday's close, just like fellow corporate raider, no, we don't really want to call them that, but KKR, up 91%. That's outstanding performance from two firms that truly know how to make money. It's odd to think that they could have such good years without ringing the register by taking their portfolio companies public. Maybe holding on to positions isn't such a bad move. That these two private equity firms are part of a trend that allows startups to stay private longer internally because the process of coming public is brutal with a lot of pressure from regulators and then from money managers. Well, I mean, this is a great way to go. Formerly, these companies had to tap the public market for capital. Now they tap outfits like KKR and Apollo. We are having a tough time getting IPOs to market, which means the ones we do get to tend to be priced too low, thanks to a paucity of buyers. And that's what I think happened with the stock of ARM Holdings, the semiconductor architecture company that's partnered with Nvidia for all sorts of gizmos, and it's all over the cell phone and servers, too. ARM's growing incredibly fast, and CEO Rene Haas has steered the company's stock to an 87% return, joining the $100 billion pantheon. there's Arista Networks, which provides hardware and software that monitors data and provides solutions for the big data center companies. No wonder its stock rallied 83%, yet it remains relatively unknown, in part because it's invisible. It makes so-called white boxes. So what? The money's not invisible. You can quote this one.
Nvidia's 180% stock growth this year underscores its leadership in AI and gaming, driven by CEO Jensen Huang's focus on speed and innovation. This culture has helped Nvidia outpace competitors and maintain its trillion-dollar valuation. Similarly, companies like AppLovin, Palantir, and Spotify are leveraging innovation and strategic shifts to drive substantial market growth, reshaping industries like e-commerce, defense, and media. These successes raise questions about sustainability and future opportunities, particularly Nvidia's ability to avoid stagnation and maintain its competitive edge. The rise of AI, data-driven strategies, and subscription models highlights the evolving dynamics of the tech market. Can Nvidia maintain its leadership through its innovative culture in the long run? How do companies like Palantir and Spotify reflect the growing role of AI and subscription models in the market?